Sandman's Tackle Time. Tonight we're going to talk about rigs. On the last episode of Sandman's Tackle Time, you noticed that we're doing it up on the Blenny Hill during the competition, and I was using a specific rig up there called the 2-hook flapper. I've been getting a few emails and a few messages of various people wanting to know how I make mine. Now, I appreciate there's a lot of people out there already know how to make this rig. It's a very easy rig, it's very simple, and again I emphasise the point, I know there's a lot of people out there know how to make it. But this is for the people that don't know how to make it, and it helps them along, especially for the juniors that I'd love to see get from behind PlayStations and Xboxes and get out with a rod in their hand and do a little bit fishing. So that's that. So when I come to make my rigs, what I like is a wide selection of a good quality line, good quality hooks, good quality terminal tackle all along. The majority of the tackle that I use, as you know yourselves, is what I've made myself. I.e., like tonight you're going to see us use fast links. There's the one there. And you've seen us use other various things. So tonight I'll quickly demonstrate and talk to you about what gear I use for fishing. I'm not saying I'm the best angler in the world. I'm far from it. But this is what I use and it works. I do alright the Blenny Hill. I get a couple of places here and there and a couple of longest fish, so I must be doing something right. So here I've got a line of Amnesia line. It's starting off at 50, 40, 30, 25 pound, 20 pound, 15, 10 and 8. Them are the main lines that I would use for. I would go up to 50 pound hook studs if I was fishing for rays, stuff like that. Even 40 pound, even down to 30 pound for ray. 30 you're getting a bit dodgy. Your winter rigs, you go right up to 50 pound for your hook snuds. 40 and 30 pound, no problem at all. But the rig that we're going to do tonight, with it being a 2-hook flapper, it's very light. It's for flatties. And wait, there's three you could use really. You've got your 15 pound, you've got your 10 pound, and you've got your 8 pound. Personally, I think the 15 is probably a little bit heavy. It would work, but for me personally, it's them two there. 10 and 8 pound hook snuds. As a main body, I don't like to go above 25. Maybe 30 if I've got no 25. But that's what I like. 25 pound hook lengths. Your main body for that. Going on to the hook side of things, I'm a huge fan of Sakuma hooks. I've got various ones in the range, as you can come if you want to just have a zoom in on all of these. You've got your Sakuma Manta Extras, your standard Sakuma Mantas, Sakuma Stingers, size 2/0. Here we've got Sakuma Phantoms, size 1 and 1/0. Size 1 and 1/0 Sakuma Stingers, which I'm a huge fan of Sakuma Stingers. Here we've got a Kamasan crab hook. Get them at Andy Rutherford's Cratton shop. Here we've got, they are just black Aberdeens. I do like them, and there's some size 3/0 Sakuma Manta Extras, which I tend to use for cod. But 3/0, 4/0, 5/0 I go up to and stuff like that. Another little hook that you can use up on the river is these guys here. If you would like to come and have a zoom into it, they're called Sab Polos wormer hooks. There it is there. I know it's very small. These ones here are a size 2. And I assure you they are deadly. Absolutely deadly. They are razor sharp and they've done the trick for me. I don't know if you can see that there, poor white background behind it. But if you ever want them there, they are there. You can get these at Moonfleet Angling, Andy Rutherford's. There's a few shops sell them. Fisher Republic, I believe that they sell them. I think they do. And they're a Cratton hook. Your Sakuma range, I've seen them in Northeast Tackle. I've seen them in Moonfleet Angling, Andy Rutherford's, Fisher Republic, all your local tackle shops around here. And that's in the northeast of England I'm talking about. I know these videos get viewed up and down the country, but round where I live, that's where you can get them from. So I hope that helps you out in case you're not too sure on where to buy the wormer hooks or Sakuma. Anyway, back to this rig. So we're going to make a 2-hook flapper. Very simple. We're going to start off with a piece of £25, I've got some black, there it is there. £25 black amnesia, there it is there. And the way I always do it is nip the end of me finger and thumb, I stretch it out, and I go to my nose. So if you can see my hands over to there, and I go to my nose, and I put my hand on there, my finger on there, sorry. I use my clippers, I use that style of clippers. I know you can use nail clippers, some people use scissors, various bits and bobs, so that's that. Anyway, so we've gotten that far. Once I've gotten to there, I will then get my fast link, as you can see there. You know me with knots, I'll just show you a very good knot. Pull that through, like so. Wrap round 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Back through the bottom. Maintain the loop that you've got. Go through it again. 1, 2, 3. Put a little bit spit on it. And pull that tight. I then like to get my pliers. In this case I've got a set of long nose pliers, my good old round ones, and give it a good, make sure it's at home. Now if you look at that knot, as you've seen us doing Sandman's Tattle Time before, it comes out the same way as it goes in. That is a very, very strong knot, really good. Anyway, so with that, we'll trim off that tag end. We're now at that stage there. Then you want to get these guys. These are called crimps. I should have told you this at the beginning of the video, but it slipped my mind. We've got some crimps here. You get various kinds of crimps. I've got crimps here that's got, I'll just put that to the side. I've got crimps there that's got the swivel already built in. And I've got crimps with them not built in, just a standard crimp. So tonight we're going to use just the standard crimp. So what do? So you've got the end of your trace. You want to have a crimp, a bead, a nice small swivel. Won't mean to say that there, I'll just put it on that white background. That's the size swivel that we're using today. A nice small swivel, followed by a bead, followed by a crimp. That's that set done. While you've got hold of it, get another crimp on, as you can see there. So you've got yet another crimp. Then you want another bead. So as you've probably guessed, you're just repeating what I've already done. So again, there's another bead. Then we're going to have another swivel, followed by another bead, and last but not least, your final crimp. That goes on to the end. You are now sitting like that. So very briefly, again, I'll just show you. You have got your fast link with a swivel. You've got crimp, bead, swivel, crimp. Sorry, I'll start again, sorry. You've got your fast link, swivel, crimp, bead, swivel, bead, crimp. Crimp, bead, swivel, bead, crimp. That's that sorted out. What you need to do then is go to the opposite end and get yourself a swivel. I like to use crane swivels, nothing too big, size 3 there is. Again, keeping in mind this is only for flatties, it's not really going to do any heavy work. And again, I'll repeat that knot in case you haven't seen it. Here it is here. So you've got your tag end through, as you can see, like that. You're going to go around 3 times, so you go 1, 2, 3, back through. That's your standard half blood knot. You end up with that. 3 times again. 1, 2, 3. Keep it there in your hand. Get your pliers. Apply a little bit of gob oil. Pull that tight. trim off your tag end, and that's that. Now what I like to do is I'll get one for the top. So what I've done is I've grabbed a crimp bead, swivel bead crimp, and I don't know, what's that, 2-3 inches off the top. I use my round nose pliers for this. I don't like to use normal pliers, especially cutters or nothing. You don't want anything to cut, because you want, all you're doing is you're crimping up. And I always like to put 2 on. So you get it there, put a crimp there, apply pressure again, turn that upside down, repeat that process again. 1, 2, and that's it. That's going absolutely nowhere. That there is one swivel ready to take its hook snood. Then what I do is just have it. I get the 2 swivels and I match them up side by side at the end. I pull that tight and I'll slide down the other crimp so it matches up. If you can see what I've done there, it actually matches up in length with the one that I've just done. I don't know why I do it this way, I just always have. And as I say, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So it works for me, so I'm sure it'll work for you lads. Again, I'm just crimping up as you've just seen us do. You've now ended up at that stage there. So hopefully you can see that. So you've got your fast link, swivel, and your swivels there ready to take your hook snuds. Right, your hook snuds, I always go right the way down. I'm a big fan of 8-pound line. I've heard the rumour about using red, because they say that red is the first colour to disappear in the spectrum under 6 feet of water. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I've heard it quite a few times, so I believe it. It makes sense to me. There's red, but I am a huge fan of clear. I really am. On hook snuds, that is. So what we do with that is repeat it again. Just the length of my arm. That's all I do, and I stop it there. The length of my arm. Snip that off. And then run them side by side. Like so. And snip the 2 off again. We'll just put that to one side. There is your 2 equal lengths of hook snuds. Now to me, this is the important bit, getting your knots right. Because on your hook snuds, or any knot, you don't want it to fail. So if you'd like to come and have a look, I'm going to do this knot again. I hope you can see it. I know I'm repeating myself, but this is, to me, it's very important. The last thing, if you're reeling in, you've got that fish on, you know, you're sitting second, you need to get this fish for the win, and your knots fail on you, no good. You've got to get it right. Again, so it goes through, pull it through, go 2 or 3 inches, wrap around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That's your standard half blood, as I've just said, through the bottom. And you end up with a loop like that. Go around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Apply your gob oil as usual. And I always like to give it a bit of a wobble like that. And that's that bit done. Go to the other part. This is your bottom rig. The bottom part of your rig, I should say. Again, we're going to repeat that again. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Through the bottom. 1, 2, 3. There you go. A little bit of spit. And trim off the bottom. Right, so you now ended up with your main body. This is complete. And you're now sitting there with 2 hook snuds of 10-pound amnesia line. That's now ready to receive the hooks. The hooks that we're going to use tonight So believe it or not, I've got a match tomorrow and I'm actually going to use these rigs. There's these guys here. They're called Sakuma Stingers, size 1. There it is there. They're fantastic. They're absolutely faultless. I know they're a little bit expensive. I think I paid about £5.50 for a box of 30 of them. But it's like everything, you get what you pay for in this world. So if you want the quality, go out and pay for it. Right. Another reason why I use these hooks is 2 reasons. One, obviously they've got the long shanks, so they're a very good worm hook. Second of all, they do take crab quite well as well. So they're a bit of an all-rounder. Now let's say that you're going to use this hook for worm. As we all know, when you fish in the rivers, blacks tipped off with a little bit of mackerel strip is deadly and can be as deadly as crab. And if I was to tell the truth, I dare say I've had bigger flatties on blacks tipped with mackerel strip than what I have on fresh crab. So that's that. Anyway, here, here's a one for you. We're going to do that knot again, but with a slight difference here. Pull your line through again, and then do your half blood. 1, 2, 3, and through the bottom. 1, 2, 3, and you throw again. Now be very careful here, because if you ever do get these Sakuma hooks, they're razor sharp. A little bit of spit. Now pull that tight again. Give it a wobble, just like that. But this time, when you come to your tag end, don't trim it right close. Leave there, if you can see that. Leave about, what's that, 2-3 mil. So there you are there, if you can see that. Maybe it'll be better if I use that so you can see it on the camera. Now the reason I've done that for is because you've got the hook and you've put your worm on, and your worm slides up, and you've put your worm up past there. Now what that'll act as is an anchor for your worm. That piece of line there will stab into the side, into the wall of the black lugworm or whatever you're using, and stop it from falling down the shaft of the hook. I mean, how many times have you fished in the past and you've reeled in, you just want to change your bait and you've reeled in and all the bait's gathered at the bottom of there? Well, that little tag end there will stop that, and that's the gospel truth. Anyway, so that's that. So we've got that, we'll put that down, we'll go to the other end, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to repeat the process. So you get your size 1/0 Sakuma Stinger, or whatever hook is your choice. Again, 1, 2, 3, through the bottom, 1, 2, 3. Pull that tight, a little bit of a wobble, and then trim off your tug end, leaving that 2 to 3 mil. If I use that, you see better. That 2 to 3 mil little bit tug end, as you can see there. That is basically it. Now what I've got here is a little Sputnik, just for demonstration purposes, so I can quickly show you. So you will come to use this rig. Let's just put that down to there. You will get your sinker that will clip onto your fast link, as you can see there. You go to the other end. Try to keep an eye on these hooks, because as you know, they're extremely sharp. And that there, chaps, believe it or not, is finished. So there is one hook there, ready to receive its bait. And there is your second hook there. That there is, put that up there, that there is a 2 hook flapper. Now then, storage purposes. If I was to tell all God's honest truth, I never used to be a fan of these rig winders, as you've seen. Tronics Pro rig winders. There's various versions on the market, as you've seen, but I never used to be a big fan of these. I used to always like my rigs in a rig wallet, little self-saleable bags, this, that and the other. But have you noticed that when you use one of them self-saleable bags or a rig wallet and you try and wrap up a 2 hook flapper, you just never get it out first time? That's what changed us to go to these. As you've seen before, if you've just started fishing, great piece of kit. Wrap it round. Stab in your hook on the first one. That's it. That's took care of. It's safe. You're not going to stab yourself on it at a later date and out like that. That's sorted out. Then you wrap your second one around. Do the same again and stick it in like that. There you go. That can go anywhere, this, that and the other. Now watch when you want to unravel it. Drop them up my hand there. I'm going to go slow because I don't want to stab myself. There you go. Now what my point is that is ready to receive a sinker. The hooks is ready to receive bait. There they are there. And you're ready to go. And you know as well as I do, for all those that use rig wallets out there, if you were trying to untangle a 2-hook flapper out of your rig wallet, it just wouldn't happen. You'd be standing there getting tangled up and all the rest of it. And that'll be that. Anyway, boys and girls, that's the end of another Sandman's Tattle Time. Many thanks for watching. I'm over the moon that you're enjoying them out there. We're getting some great feedback from you. I'll do a few on different rigs that I use. Again, I'm emphasising the point, this is for people mainly that's never made these rigs before or they're new to the sport of angling. So I can show you as much as I know, and with a bit of luck you'll be out there and be a little bit successful. So you take care out there, be safe, that's key. And I'll see you on the next episode of Sandman's Tattle Time. Bye bye.